In this video, we are going to run a music across different scenes, and this music should not stop, should not pause, and it should just keep running while we are changing scenes. So what we are trying to do is something like this. So as you saw, we started from this scene and a music was running. Then we went to new scene 2 and the music was still running. And then we went back to new scene and the music was still running. So that's what we want to do in this video. And that music never stops and it just keeps running in the background. So how to do something like this? So here is the code in new scene, and you can see that at the beginning of the scene I have played a music on channel 0, and this is the code for changing the scene. Now in new scene 2 I have not done anything. That's it. I mean, I have just played the music at the beginning of the scene. And of course, when I am changing the scene, I am pausing the scene and starting the new scene. If you stop the scene, then it will not, it will simply restart the music when you come back to this scene. So, how to do this? Let me, delete this, all this, and show you again how it is done. Okay, when you have two scenes, like I do, I have only a background and a text, and in new scene 2 also I have a background and a text, and in addition to this I have this setting in my new scenes, I mean all the scenes. Click on these three dots and click on edit scene properties. You can see that my stop music and sounds on startup checkbox is unchecked. You should keep it unchecked, okay? Otherwise this will not work. Channels will not get shared across the screens, across the scenes, if you check it. So keep it unchecked to share your music channels across your scenes. And the same is done in this one also, unchecked. Okay, so that's the setup which I have. Now let's start some coding, some writing some code. Add a new empty event, add condition scene at the beginning of the scene, and add action. Go to audio and music on channels and play a music file on a channel. For music file, I will choose a music file which I have in my uh, game folder, right? And for channel identifier I will put 0. Repeat the sound, you can say yes, because when the sound ends it should be repeated, because that is the point of the background music. Volume 100 and pitch 1. Click on OK. And now let's write the code for changing the scene. Create a new event and add condition. Common conditions for all objects: mouse and touch. The cursor slash touch is on an object. Next scene, accurate test by default, yes. Add condition, mouse and touch, mouse button released, left button primary, and that's it. Now our next scene text will act like a button. So what will it do? It will change the scene. Now there are two options. Change the scene and pause and start a new scene. If you change the scene and again try to come back to this scene, your music will get started again. If you want to keep the music running in the background, you have to pause and start a new scene. So our new scene is new scene 2, and that's all. In new scene 2, let's go to the events and add a code to go back to the previous scene. Common conditions for all objects: mouse and touch. The cursor slash touch is on an object. Previous scene, accurate test, yes. Click on OK and add condition, mouse and touch, mouse button released, and left button. Click on OK, and now our previous scene text will act like a button again. What action will it do? Let's add an action. It will change the scene. So we have to uh, you know stop and go back to previous scene, right? That's what we want to do, right? stop this scene and go back to the previous paused one. That's the action we want. Click on OK, and that's it. That's now you have a music which will run across different scenes. Let's test it out. So as you saw, our scene was, our music was always being played in the background, and if you paid attention, you would also be able to notice that the music was not being restarted again and again, because this music starts only at the beginning of the scene. When we are changing the scene, we have paused the scene. So when you come back to the scene, you are not starting the scene again, you are resuming the scene. So this condition never becomes true other than when you start the scene. So yeah, that's the tutorial. That's how you can do this thing. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.